All right, we're recording. Hey, welcome to class today, which is September 3rd. We were late to the Zoom for single camera production 17 and 18 because we actually did a in-class filming. You'll get opportunity to watch all of that when it's edited. But we're going to jump into our editing class. Hey, Alex, how's it going? I was just explaining that we are now going to be doing some editing lessons, and our single camera production Zoom was delayed because we did about an hour interview with some in-person subjects, and now the class is shooting B-roll. We talked about the assignment number 1, which is the framing exercise, which is the editing classes. Alex, are you in editing or are you in single camera production? I can't remember off the top of my head. Help me out. You don't have to shout it out. Just throw it in the chat, or maybe you didn't hear my question. Oh, you're in 16 and 7. Okay, so 17 single camera production. We did an in-class interview today. You'll get to see the fruits of our labor next week on Tuesday. But feel free to stay for the editing lecture if you want. If not, you can bounce and just know you're going to see the stuff. Do you have any questions or comments about your framing exercise, which is due on the 14th? So next Sunday, it's due. We're going to watch some of our classmates do it in class on Wednesday. Cool. If you have any questions about the framing exercise, I'm happy to do it. But remember, you have to do an extreme close-up, a close-up, a medium close-up, a wide shot. I don't know if I can get that far back to do, or sorry, that's a medium. The medium shot is basically stomach up, and the long shot's a full body shot, an established shot of cross cutting. Very simple exercise. We filmed one in class that took me a minute to do. Okay, great. Feel free to jump in and ask questions as you want. We're going to talk about, feel free to message me if you have questions or you need ad codes to any of my classes. We are going to jump into our editing lesson. It's me and Kellen and Angel. Angel, did you see my note about the ad codes? Okay, you could try it. It might be because you've taken it before, but I think you should be able to add it, no problem. If not, join the single camera production. You can come to the editing class no matter what. How many times have you taken it? This would be your second. Yeah, you should be good. Yeah, I gave you another code. If that one doesn't work, if you just add single camera, and then you could take whatever. You might have to go to a counselor though too, but I definitely do it this week before Friday, because then I think the ad codes expire after Friday, right? All right. First and foremost, welcome to editing. Kellen, you're going to use your machine like last time, and you're editing in Premiere. Yep. We work in Premiere, right? You remember last semester, do you have a hard drive?
Yes.
You'll need a hard drive in the future with your footage. What I'm going to do, because Ftve is so connected, you're going to get it to able to work on your own projects. But also, I would love you both to edit and everyone in the editing class to edit a Ftve news at some point. And don't worry, I'm not expecting next week or whatever, but it's going to be something I'm going to hand off. Hey, I shot that footage. You should be able to know how to import, how to sync audio, and cut all that stuff, if that makes sense. In fact, that's what we're going to talk about today. Is we are going to talk about importing footage, syncing audio. Okay. So let's do that now. So I'm going to open up Premiere, and I'm just going to check my settings to make sure everything looks groovy. Before I do that, because they cross-listed this class, and it's a little bit of work to do it now this way, but that's okay. All right, so we're doing Zoom. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Share. I'm going to share with sound. I'm going to say share. Okay, there we go. First and foremost, now that we're sharing the screen, Alex, hit me up if you can't hear me or if I play something and it doesn't hear, that's usually an issue. Okay, what I am, oh, okay. I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna type in PR, which should get me to Adobe Premiere, which is gonna bounce my little PR right here on the dock. If you wanna follow along on the computer, there's the login for the computer right here. I am digital, iDigital, or you can watch at home. Usually if you have footage, following is good, but feel free to log in. I'm going to talk for about 50 minutes and then we can just edit. Okay, so that machine is going to, hold on. About 13 years old. The light turns on, and then your username is going to be I am digital, iDigital, and then when you log in, you're going to type in your G number, and you're going to type in your G number. Or username is my.gavlin, and then it's going to give you your G number, which you have to do your G number and password. Okay, so my Premiere is just taking its sweet time to load. As we can see, it's bouncing and loading. So that gives us plenty of time. You can see the right here, the spinning ball death, which used to kill me way more. The best thing I can suggest while we're doing this, how can we utilize our machines? So if we're working off a computer or if we're using the school computer, we're going to deal with lag. We're going to deal with slow things. It should be oh, did you use iDigital? Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. You're good. You're good. How can I make my computer run better? Well, what I can do is realistically, your RAM is going to be a factor, which is random access memory. It's kind of like the blood of the computer, which makes it run fast. I usually allocate Premiere to eat up 80% of my RAM on my computer and leave 20% to everything else. The other thing that can lock your computer down is if your storage space is too low. So we want to make sure that we have the external hard drive that's reading and taking all of our auto saves and Premiere stuff, because otherwise it's going to be slow and crashy. And this is especially slow for me. So I'm going to go through and say, let's say don't use. I'm going to close GarageBand, which I was using earlier today. All right, I got a QuickTime video that I'm just going to close. All of this is going to eat up stuff. Bark is an app. Adobe Acrobat can eat up that. I'm going to leave Zoom open. Let's close that. Hey, even Photoshop here. Let's quit Photoshop and see. Okay, you can see some garlic. Let's don't save, don't save, don't save, don't save, don't save, don't save. All right, I don't need any of that garlic. All right, I'm going to close my Teams as well. Sometimes Premiere is just not going to start for me. So I'm going to actually, it's not responding. So I'm going to force quit it. Now I get a crash report. I'm not going to send it, but let's click Premiere again and see if maybe sometimes things just don't work. Here, I like to put the little spinning ball on the lady's head. Maybe I'm just going to have to restart everything. Sometimes you just got to restart. But let's give it a second. And before I give up, but I will tell you, I have almost virtually no patience. So I'm already getting kind of peeved. All right, while we're at here, let's talk about storage space. RAM can really eat up storage space, especially with the Adobe Suite. So look, I'm looking at 117 gigs available. Is that good? No, I'm kind of in the danger threshold right here because it would be good to keep 20% of your hard drive free. That just allows for versatility. Now, I have about a little over 10% of my hard drive free. So maybe that's the issue. But that being said, all right, Alex, you still there on Zoom? I'm gonna stop my share for a second. Hey, Alex, you're in charge. I'm gonna restart my machine. So I'll be right back, okay? Let's restart and then we'll come right back. And I think if you stay here, Alex, it'll keep recording. But we'll see. I'm gonna restart my machine and hopefully that fixes the issue. Don't send. I'm gonna leave the meeting. Alex. Oh, thank you, Alex. You saved us, Alex. Let's see if the recording is still in progress. Alex, I hope you did some like freestyle raps or something while I was gone. Something cool. Hopefully nothing not cool that I'll have to edit out. But I trust Alex. I trust. Or D'Lo. D'Lo, right? Alex, that's what you prefer to be. Yes, sir, D'Lo. Okay. All right. I'm opening Premiere and crossing my fingers. Oh, it opened. See, sometimes it works. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and share sound. I have to say these things out loud, or if I have done it in the past where it didn't work. All right, let's check it out. Here's Premiere. All right, we're going to open up our project that we worked on last time. So Angel, you can follow along, just create a new project, file new project. Name it whatever you'd like. Ooh, look, I did some editing in this by accident. But it's going pretty slow, so again, like I've said, I have zero patience, so I'm going to just close this out. It's like indexing. I should just be happy it's open, right? All right. I'm gonna have to go through and clean up my machine. Okay, look, I closed the sequence and it jumped into this. So what we want to do is we want to go file new sequence. We're gonna open up, we're just gonna go with sequence 3. I'm gonna be lazy and not name it because I never name my sequences. And I've only been bitten by it like 100 times. Okay, we can see, okay, I want to go ahead and look at my hard drive and let's pull in some footage that actually has okay, let's look here. Do I have what I want? What I really, really want? Tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Okay, so I'm gonna import this. I'm gonna try, I'm just going to drag and drop this folder into my project because I showed you that's a way to do it. I'm working on something called GGF and Anna right now. That's the Gilroy Garlic Festival in Anastasia. So it's a folder that I usually name my folders based off of what's on the card that I'm trying to transfer. So it's probably Gilroy Garlic Festival footage and Anastasia footage. But so we talked about importing stuff last time and dragging it onto our sequence. Today, I want to talk about sync sound, like what we filmed in class today. So I've imported it. Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely. Please do. We can close the door too if you want. So notably, we've imported this and look at this right here. That means it's audio only. And if I click on this, we can listen to it.
Oh, we have an amazing cat.
All right. Well, you gotta go for it. You gotta figure it out. It's like a secret code. Oh, here we go. All right. Well, I am gonna go Premiere. I'm gonna go settings, audio hardware. This is the hard part of this dumb thing is I have to default output that to the amp. Yes. Okay. So if I click here.
Nicole, it is just such a fun.
All right. Is that a phone? Not in here. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my footage here and I know that I filmed an interview. All right, let's take a look and see if we can't find that interview. Oh, look, there's some Garlic Festival stuff. All right. Hey, everybody, dance. Okay. Anastasia's a musical performance that we're doing promos for. But I'm just clicking through, looking, and now I filmed that, so I'm familiar with my footage. But if we aren't familiar with our footage, it's always good to go through and click and drag. And then I like to scrub through and be like, oh, but I know what my exact shot I'm looking for is, and it's not there. It's not there, so maybe it's in here. Let's look. That's definitely not it. That's definitely not it either. Oh, this is making me mad. All right. Is it somewhere else? Oh, I'm searching by frame rate. So look at this. This is a good thing to note. I'm going by frame rate, which is going to be a factor. Now, for me, I know I always shoot my interviews in 23 and my video in 59. Oh, look, and I must have goofed up and shot some in 50, which is going to be especially annoying. What is that? Looks like breakfast burritos. Delicious. This is actually Geronimo's footage. Yeah, breakfast burritos. Why do you shoot it at 50? Who could know? All right. So there's 24, 24, 24. Okay, there's some interviews. Those aren't the interviews I want. Let's just go through and make sure. Oh, look, here we go. We found them. All right. Let's go with this one. So I'm going to click and drag this footage in. I'm going to change everything. It's going to remember, it's going to say, hey, it doesn't match. I'm going to say, no, keep the sequence the same. So look, now it's cropped in here. That's because I shot this in 4K. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go into my effects control. And because I shot in 4K, I actually can play with the space. And like, look, you know, our framing exercise, I could take this one image and go, hey, let's just do an extreme close-up, right? Or we could do this and do a close-up, or we could do this, and now we have an MCU, or we could do this, which is too small, but let's fill the screen. Look, that's a medium, which is kind of all I can do. I can't go wide because I didn't shoot any wider than that. Okay, from here, if I hit play, rolling. All right, you're gonna look right here. I'm not in the piece. So all right, so you can hear me doing the interview, right? Okay, she's gonna look right here. All right, well, this is our scratch audio. As you can see, there's only a right channel of audio. That's the camera audio that's being recorded. That's the scratch audio. And if we listen, smile, you're doing great. I felt you forgetting it, but playing young Anya, and you're gonna look right here. You can hear I sound way better. than they do. Why? Because I'm standing right next to the microphone, next to the camera. Well, guess what? They're also, we can see right here, there's a microphone. And we imported audio. So let's listen.
I played the part.
Okay, great. So now what I can do is I can click and drag and look, our audio here gets dropped down onto our timeline and it's green only. Yes.
When you say imported, you mean like you recorded audio like later on? Or-
No, like we did in our lesson, there were two different files, right? Like I recorded video on one card and I recorded audio on a separate card, but now I have to put them together in Premiere. So you can see that that's a good question. So you can see my audio that I recorded at the exact same moment because I used an audio recorder, gave me a WAV file, which is audio only, and then but my video also recorded audio. And why did I do that? Because the microphone that I use with my audio recorder is always going to be better than the microphone that I use for on my camera. Right? My camera mic, or shotgun mic, is good for some things. But okay, look. So now what happened was I just clicked and dragged and dropped my audio all lined up. Should be synced now, right? Yeah?
Somewhat, I can kind of see a little bit.
Okay, let's listen. My recording rolling. All right, you're gonna look right here. I'm not. All right, you're gonna look right here. I'm not in. So why didn't that work?
Honestly, I don't know.
You don't know. Well, it didn't. Oh, wait, let's make sure. Delo, did you say? Just say yes, sir. Okay. It didn't work because when we were recording, I hit record on the audio before I hit record on the camera. So that means the audio recorded a little bit more than what the camera did. So unless we're like a super perfect machine that can hit record on both devices at the exact same moment, the audio, even if it's like one frame difference, it'll never be perfect. You can't sync everything in camera, right? So how do we sync this? Well, Premiere makes it super simple, but I can show you the hard way first. First and foremost, if we just look at, if I can stretch these out and make the waveforms, which are the visual representations of audio, closer. So just looking at the waveforms, I can see, okay, that doesn't match. And knowing how it worked, I think if I go something like this. All right, you're gonna look right here. I'm not in the piece, so none of mine, so complete sentences, but I'll basically tell you. All right,
Okay, I see. You
I'm gonna
just
start
got
off
some of
and
it,
just have you say,
right?
hi, my name's Aaron. So you can say your full name, and I'm playing Young Anya?
Yes.
Playing Young Anya in Broadway South Bay's performance of Anastasia. Cool.
Okay.
Let's start with that.
Okay.
All right, Eric, go and then right here. I'm gonna start off and just have you
Hello.
say. Okay, so I'm gonna go right where.
Hello. Hello.
So let's zoom in. Now, if you use the plus tool, you can zoom in and it will zoom in wherever your playhead is. And I'm actually gonna go right to this frame. These little nodules, we zoom in enough, it's every single frame. This is as tight as we can go. So in between here, so we can hear them say hello. I'm gonna click, I'm gonna cut right there. I'm gonna delete this, I'm gonna hit delete and get rid of that. Okay, now on the other line, let's find where they say hello. All right, so I'm gonna note this button right here is mute. I can mute this lower track, so we're only listening to the upper track now. Young Anya? Playing Young Anya in Broadway South Bay's performance of Anastasia. Let's start with that. Go and you look right here. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so that's where they say hello. Okay, so I'm gonna guess right about here. We'll make our edit right there, but then really let's click and drag it over. Now the problem, of course, is their waveform right there is really low. So is this gonna be an exact sync? Do we think? Yes, no?
Probably.
Maybe, let's listen. So I'm gonna unmute it. Let's listen to what it sounds like.
Hello, I'm Erin Rachel Haskett. I played the part of young Anastasia on Broadway South Bay.
Okay.
Anastasia.
Yes. Yeah. What do we think about the sync?
It's actually really good.
There's sort of a delay, honestly. There's a little bit of delay. Listen to me. You can hear me better. Listen, because it's coming out of both speakers, one channel and the other.
That's okay.
Do
Okay.
you hear that it's kind of an echoey effect?
Yeah.
I think it's slightly off. So why don't we use so look here. This is me saying it's okay. So even zooming in and looking, look, we can see the green one is off by just a tiny bit. That's like 1 frame difference. So let's move it over 1 frame. Now, is it exact? I don't know. Let's listen now.
That's okay. Anastasia.
Yes.
Sounds better, right? That was a 1 frame difference that made the difference. Okay, so we just synced our audio based off of that. Now, in a real production, even like what we did today, we had the subject clap in front of their face. So if we use a slate with a clapper, why do you think we do that? Sync the audio and video. It gives us a visual representation. So even if we don't have a scratch track, we see visually where the clapper hits. And also it's going to peak our audio. It's going to give us a big spike that we can use rather than trying to find a spot where I spoke. Okay. Okay. Well, then answer me this. I'm going to undo my edit. We made a sync there the hard way, but it's like, Tim, you didn't have this subject clap. Are you lazy? Are you dumb? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't I do this? Me being lazy or dumb is a perfectly fine answer. But realistically, I know that Premiere uses some cool software that I don't really need a clap as long as it can find a unified area. And everything that we did, I showed you how to do it manually. Well, guess what? Why would I do that when Premiere, I can select everything. I can right click, and then I'm going to select synchronize. It's an auto synchronize feature. Synchronize. All right. You can choose from the start or the end. Well, that doesn't work because that means you record everything perfectly at the start or the end. We want to choose audio track channel and a mix down. We can choose a specific channel, but if I choose channel 1, I know I recorded 1 on channel 1 and 1 on channel 2. So it won't ever make a sync. But if I do a mix down, that looks at both channels and it's going to try to find a sync point based off of that. Okay, I'm going to say cancel first because I have an edit here that I know is going to screw me up. So let me undo the edit. And the way I'm going to do that is actually, let's go in here. I'm going to zoom in a bit. See this one line, right? Edit. I know that's going to screw us up. And I'm going to say a join through edit. So basically it was an edit. I just made it become a single clip.
So you just right click on the
Right
audio bar and then it pulls that up.
Right clicked. Yep. Or control clicked. Or yeah, control clicked. All right, let's select all. Again, I'm going to control click or right click. And then I'm going to choose synchronize. And I'm going to say audio track mix down. Now watch, it's going to process. Now it's going to do one of good things. It did the good thing, which means, hey, it's synced now. So what I like to do is just check to make sure it's synced.
Hello, I'm Rachel Haskett. I played the part of young Anastasia on Broadway South Bay.
That's okay.
Anastasia.
Yes.
So this is a more better perfect sync of Anastasia. Does that make sense? That's synchronizing audio. Let me show you a couple of hiccups that can come with this. All right, so let's delete this. We have a perfect sync here, but let's say we have this. Okay, now I'm going to click and drag this clip. I'm going to click and drag number 8 here. Well, notably, I'm dragging clip 8 here. What do you notice? There's a huge gap. Okay. So I'm going to select, let's see what happens. Sometimes, you know, I start recording one way before the other. Maybe this is a 20-second gap that just doesn't need to be filled. If I say synchronize, it's going to jump to the right spot. I'm going to do audio mix down. Uh-oh. Audio synchronize failure. Could not synchronize one or more clips. Maybe it doesn't have enough reference material, but realistically, let's listen.
In Broadway South Bay's production of Anastasia. A couple reasons why you should come. It is an amazing.
Okay. Notably, it's the wrong person. I chose the wrong clip. So
I was gonna say, could it do that where it's not synchronizing because it recognizes two different audio recordings?
absolutely,
Okay.
if it can't find a point that syncs up, it won't sync it. It'll say like this, you're trying to sync the wrong clip,
Okay.
which can happen. Also, check this out. What if I like just put this over here and here, and I'm going to select both. I'm going to control click, and I'm going to say synchronize. Let's watch what happens. They're just spatially. Oh, look, it jumped and it synced it again. Cool. All right. So now we have synced sound. Great. Yeah, very cool.
Jump to wherever-
It'll jump there. It'll jump your video. It can screw up some stuff sometimes, but we'll talk about that in the future. Let's go into here. I want to go into effects, and I am going to just type in stereo. Oh, I'm going to say fill left with right. Okay. So first and foremost, let's go here. I'm clicking on here and we're visual representation. We have the left channel and the right channel. Okay, what do you think I want to do? My right channel is blank. Nothing's coming out of it. My left channel has audio. Which one do you think I should do, Angel? Should I fill left with right or right with left? No wrong answers. I mean, there is a wrong answer, but no wrong guesses, okay? What do you think? Should we fill left with right or right with left?
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I have audio in my left channel and I have nothing in my right channel. I want to make my audio stereo, which means it's coming out of both the left and the right channel. Because if I edit this and we listen, we visually in class can tell
Join us from September.
it's only coming out of this speaker over here. I want it to come out of both speakers. So this is the left speaker. And I'm going to use this effect, fill left, right, with we should do. Fill right with left. I think that's the right answer. Let's click and drag. And now when we listen,
Okay.
Hi, your name, who you play.
it's basically stereo pair the audio, and now it's coming out of both speakers. Notably, I'm going to undo this. Watch our waveforms if you're at home and you're having a mix down.
The show, Broadway South Base.
Oh, let's,
Okay.
we're going to mute that one. You can see it's only bouncing on the
Hi,
left
I'm
channel,
Erin
right?
Haskett.
There's
I play
nothing over
young
here. So when we do fill right with left,
Anastasia in
we
Broadway
can
South.
see our audio is that. Now, what if Angel was wrong and told us to do the wrong one? Oh, look, I have no audio now because I filled everything with the one that had no audio. Let me tell you, that's a mistake I do all the time. Like literally, I do that mistake all the time. There's something in my brain that won't allow me to figure out left and right. But that's a mistake I make all the time. Uh-oh, what was that? Okay.
Play young Anya
Yeah.
in Broadway South Base.
Okay, so now we have our edits. Notably, we have our sync, right? So let's go. And I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna take my blade tool with B, or sorry, C for cut. I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna just move the garbage away.
Hello, I'm Rachel Haskett. I played the part of young Anastasia on Broadway South Bay.
It's okay.
Like
Okay, it wasn't okay. You said it wrong, kid.
Broadway South Bay.
Okay. But we're gonna cut that right there and say, okay, this is our new clip that we wanted. And we made an edit right here, right? Well, notably, I'm gonna select everything and move it all together. Right? What if I do this? What if I just select the top two and move it over here? What did I just do? Green's my audio, blue's my video. What did I just do? It's not synced
Part of
anymore.
young and
I moved just one and the other. Well, guess what? This little clip right here, what happens if I control click and say synchronize? Will the computer be smart enough to do it? Will it? It will. Oh my gosh. So I made an edit that is all of 6 seconds long and was able to sync it because there was clear enough audio. Questions, comments, concerns? All right, so we made our edit. Let's make another edit.
because
Eh.
And like I think people should come and see the show because there's so many talented people in it and it's gonna be a great show.
Have you ever seen? Did you read it?
Watch here, great show.
All right, let's make our edit. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna delete the trash. Notably, I selected it all and hit delete and got that clip away. Is that footage permanently deleted? No, it's still in my bin over here, and I can go ahead and re-import that footage.
So usually you can just kind of slide your bar back over.
Oh yeah, also, if I want that footage back, I can select all of it, click this footage here and drag it out. Oh,
That's usually my best way of like.
I can drag it back out. Let me show you another way. This footage is gone and I know it's part of this clip and I have to be like, okay, what's the name of it? It's A12-5, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna go through here and try to find it. That's too much work. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna right click and control click, and I am going to say reveal in project. Reveal in project automatically highlights it in my bin. So I can go back in and find that footage.
Oh,
What's-
it finds what you deleted?
Well, it finds the original clip that I pulled it from.
Oh, okay. cool.
So in the bin, remember, this is just a reference to the bin. Also, what's cool about that is I can control click on here, and be like, oh, I need this footage. Where did I save it? I can say reveal in Finder. And it's showing me where exactly it is saved. It's like going to, hey, it's in this folder on this drive. So sometimes I need to find, because I have millions of files
Drives, yeah.
and drives, I'm like trying to find where exactly is it because I want to use it to find something else usually. Okay, also notably, like, look, if I click this black space right here and hit delete, it compresses the timeline. So that means everything, it basically removes that black space. If you see our cursor bar, if there's nothing under here, it defaults to black, okay? Or an image, like we talked about layering. So now we've made our edit. In fact, let's move that back. Here's our edit of our piece. I'm gonna say in.
Hello, I'm Rachel Haskin. I played the part of young Anastasia on Broadway South Bay. And like I think people should come and see the show because there's so many talented people in it and it's gonna be a great show.
All right, not a very good edit, right? We could clean that up. The thing I do want to showcase is, here's a couple things we can do. So that was a linear edit. It's all on the same line. Or we can do a checkerboard edit. Whichever one's on top becomes the dominant. So if I click and drag this on top, we can see that it jumps right there, right? But also we just unsynced this. But what's great is we can also checkerboard our audio. I talked about this last time. Now video becomes dominant. So here, let me make it more dramatic. Let's just like do a close up so we can see the edit better, right? So boom. The second the playhead goes over the edit right there, oh, we can see the second the playhead goes, it automatically jumps. What's going to be different about the audio though? So the video, whatever's on top, it becomes dominant, but with audio, it layers.
I played the part of young Anastasia.
So instead of being dominant, it just will play all the audio at the same time. That's good. So we can play, so we can have multiple layers. We can add music. That's why how audio works. Well, or notably, I could, click and drag, and now our edit.
I think people asking,
See, now we can see the audio edit there too, which we dragged that away. Questions, comments? Got about 8 minutes. I'm just going to talk about a couple more tips, but that's basically syncing audio, dominance of audio and video. Let's talk about, all right, we made our edit now. What's another way that I can layer my audio? Let's say I have multiple tracks here, and I have this line. What do you think this line represents in my audio? What do you think, Angel? You want to guess? See this line right here? This is audio. Level. It's the level of the audio, so the volume of the audio. So it's always defaulted to 0 dB, which is decibels. And if we look at it, we can see our volume, the level that it was recorded with at 0 dB takes it to between -18 and -12. Well, what up? How'd it go?
Good. What was it called? El Centro? Americano. It was closed, so we just got some outside people.
Great, we'll have to do it next week, so.
Yeah, so we got some people outside, and so you could use it. Everything good.
Great. All right, so this volume, if I drag it all the way up, it's gonna raise us 12 dBs. So brace yourself.
Rachel Haskins.
So she got considerably louder. We can see this with our waveforms. Also, if I roll it all the way down to -999 dB, what are we gonna hear? Nothing, nothing. So what I can do is I control the volume. If I go to -13,
Rachel Haskins.
she's quieter. Or I can go, you know, +2.
Rachel Haskins.
What's also great about audio like this, put it back to 0, is if we press P or our pen tool, this will allow us to make keyframes. Keyframes are nodes that allow us to modify something. So if I click a node there and I click a node there, and if I click and drag all the way down, this means that the audio is going to go from 0 dB to this moment to -999 dB at that moment. So essentially, I've created an audio edit. Do you know what this type of audio edit is called? Starts with an F, ends with an A. Well, you're fading out the audio.
Rachel Haskins.
And where the points, so basically we're going from 0 to all the way to -99. And it's pretty quick. This whole fade is all of 13 frames. Now, guess what? If we take this pinpoint and make it longer or farther away from the other pinpoint, it makes the fade longer. So
Hello, I'm Erin. Rachel Haskins.
you can hear her slowly fade out.
Cut.
Again, if we go and make it super close to one another, this fade is going to be 2 frames. So
Cut. Haskins.
that was not a very good example, but for the most part, it's going to showcase that we're clicking here, we're clicking there. Let's go and put it in the middle of the word, okay? So let's listen to this fade.
Hello, I'm Erin. Rachel Haskins.
So you can see it just essentially a 2-second frame is like a cut, or a 1-second frame is like a cut. So then our audio can be mixed like that. Let's see, what else do I want to showcase? While we're at it, we're messing with our keyframes of our audio. But look, hey, there's a line right here on the video. What do you think the line represents on the video? Clearly not volume.
That thin one?
Yeah, this thin white line. What do you think that represents on the video?
Fuck, I forgot. Sorry. Can't you move that bar up and down?
You can absolutely move this bar up and down. Look, I click that bar and I move it up and down. It goes from 100 to 0. What do you think that represents?
It shows you the video, right? Like how much you can see the video.
How much you can see the video? That's a good way to say it. Okay, if I click it all the way to 0, what happens here?
It's black.
It's black. If I go all the way to 100, what happens here? I see the video. But what if I go to 50? What's different?
Oh, it's dim.
It's dim. So we are messing with the opacity. And so something that's opaque is something you can't see through. And if you are 100% opaque, it means that you can't see through it. But if you lower the opacity, then it means it can be transparent. Notably with video, remember we talked about our 2 videos here. Let's put that on top. And remember, if So the one on top is at 100, but if we go to 50, oh, look, it makes the video semi-transparent.
And Rachel Haskins.
Now we have a nightmare,
because,
right?
I think people should come and see the show because there's so many talented people.
Wow. Imagine, look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Hmm?
I didn't know you could do that.
I've been wondering how to do that.
Yeah, your opacity right here. And then just like what we talked with the audio, we're gonna click the pen tool. We can make keyframes, which essentially will make, what is this called? If I put two keyframes away from each other. Starts with an F, ends with an A.
Fade.
A fade, yes. So check it out.
Cut and
In video, what do we call a fade in video? Starts with a dis, ends with dissolve. Yeah, dissolve. It's, there are different ones based off of the arc. So we'll talk about that when we get into our effects next week. Because if we go into our effects, that's a great point. We can look at our transitions. A fade tends to represent a uniform scale from 1 to 0, but you can have like a different type of dissolve. Let's see if it'll showcase it here. All right, we're basically building our own dissolve, but let me put a linear here. I can do this, put my fade on here. And if we go up here, double click, there's our fade with the center cut. We can, and we can see that the fade is going up and down. We can do that. We don't want to change the duration, but we can do that. And we'll start at the cut. And we can go, ooh, you can see how long it is and the blurriness. Make sense? So there's definitely some other, there's like additive. Here's a non-additive dissolve. It's a representation of the curve. Okay. I'm done talking today unless there's questions or comments. I want to talk on this. Otherwise, you can pull up your footage and play around. Again, hard drive would be good because if you save anything in your computer, it'll be deleted. But I'm done talking. Questions? Dilo, any questions? But I'm happy to let you play around with your edits here, or you're welcome to leave for the day. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to stop recording. All right. That was editing in class. Next time, same bad channel. Next Monday, we'll meet. Okay, stop.